very high energy. It's if you've heard the album or heard Apologize, it doesn't even scratch the surface of where we take it live. Everybody, I can say this now because we've been touring long enough that we've had feedback from fans and people and whatever, and everybody's, seems to think that our live show it's like the album on drugs. It's just, I sing.
There's a lot more energy
crazier,
in our live shows.
We play
sure.
crazier. It's much more of a rock show than people would expect. If for people who are just familiar with Apologize and Stop and Stare, those are very tame compared to what the live show is. Yeah, if we can figure it out. We talk. It's funny, we talked about it before we got to Australia. We thought we like to, when we're in different countries, cover songs that, if we do a cover, like every band likes to squeeze in a cover in a set. So if we have a long enough set, like 45 minutes to an hour, we like to squeeze in at least one cover. We have been covering Bittersweet Symphony in the UK, and then we covered that Duffy song, Mercy, because it was huge while we were there. So we thought, we're going to be in Australia in a little bit. Let's cover an Australian. And we're thinking, what song? And immediately someone else said, I think Eddie said, oh, what about that Silverchair song? It's like, oh man, Straight Lines. But now that we've thought about it, we only have 5 or 6 more shows, so we need to figure it out during sound check or something, so we can cover it. It is a tough thing to do, but I've always been a firm believer in, if you give yourself plan Bs and plan Cs, then plan A won't ever work, because to me, I had to almost create, no, not almost, I knew that I had to create a sense of desperation for it to work, for me to step it up, because for me, my personality, if I have an easy way out of something, I'll tend to take it if it's accessible. So I knew that about myself, so I made that non-accessible, and I thought I have to live or go broke and be evicted strictly by music. So at that point, that's what I did. I did just anything I could do that was music related, and I wouldn't take any other jobs. And for about 2.5 years, I was just penniless. But then things started happening. Yeah. Long story short, our producer that did most of the songs on Dreaming Out Loud, his sister-in-law, his wife's sister, is Jesse's manager. And so he kept telling, for 1.5 years, he said, man, I know you may not be into his, because I didn't own his album, I didn't listen to that kind of music. Anytime I work with artists that I'm not particular fans of musically, people get me, they'll be like, just have a meeting with him, he'll impress you with his talent, kind of thing. And that's what happened. I got with him and I thought, wow, this kid, for the music that he's put out, it makes no sense, because he's actually really talented. Like, he had a really good voice and he could write. And so what I try to do whenever I'm with artists like that, which has only happened 2 or 3 times, where I'm with somebody that I'm with them because it was a friend connected me, and it wasn't me reaching out to them. So what I try to do is, okay, if I don't really listen to your music, I'm going to write a song for you that I would actually listen to. That was how Bleeding Love came about. I thought, what would make me want to listen to Jesse McCartney? This song. And Jesse, came in, and I'd come up with this music, the whole track, all the music for Bleeding Love. And we were listening to it, and then one of us, I forget how the rest of the song finished out, but I had the verse lyrics and getting into the chorus, I don't care what they say, I'm alone. And then we get to the thing, and then he said the phrase, he was talking, and he said the phrase Bleeding Love. And I thought, that's kind of morbid, but that's actually really cool. And then, so we started using that, and then, it just came together. But what ended up happening was, and I fell in love with it, even with his demo singing it. He killed it vocally, did a phenomenal job. And I was convinced it was his hit. I was like, this will be your biggest hit, ever. And his label just didn't get it. Hollywood Records literally sat on it and wouldn't respond to me. And they, for months and months and months, they wouldn't do anything. And they had this other song called Unrehearsed that they wanted for him. I was like, Bleeding Love is 10 times better than Unrehearsed. And what ended up happening is his label sat on it forever. So then I pitched it, I had wanted to do. I'd just written a song for Leona called "Take a Bow," with a friend of mine, which is her third single, and I thought, man, this is one of those moments where the song needs to find the artist, and Leona's perfect. And I pitched it for Leona, and they just jumped on it. Simon Cowell jumped on it, and this all happened within about 2 months of each other. I had already, when I wrote Bleeding Love, I was already aware of Leona and wanted to do something for her. And so, the end of the story is, I finally, I gave the song to Leona, and then Hollywood, his record label, passed on it. And the second they found out that she was cutting it, they were like, "We never passed on it. We want the song." And accused me of stealing the song from him and giving it. It got really bad actually for a minute with his label, not with Jesse, but with his label. And so, needless to say, I have not worked or done anything for that label since then.
Yeah, actually, I auditioned to that song. I had a demo tape from our old bass player. Gave it to me. He said, "Hey, here's the audition tape." It was like 4 songs. It was like Stop and No, it wasn't Stop and Stare. It was Mercy, Apologize, and came in and played it. And I loved it. And when I heard it, I'm like, wow, I got to be in this band. So with that, Apologize is one of those songs that just connects with everybody. Anybody can connect in a way that they feel that they can connect to it.
I had started, the funny thing about Apologize is I started that song probably 5 months before I finished it. I had come up with this verse, melody, and piano progression that I absolutely loved at my dad's house. And then, as I do oftentimes with songs, I'll get them halfway finished, and then I wait 6 months to finish them. I do it all the time. And I was so in love with the verse and just the piano and just the haunting feeling of it that I wanted the chorus to be the best thing ever written. I was literally, that's why it took so long. I would sit down multiple times, and if I couldn't come up with the chorus right then, I'd just stand up and I'd walk away. I didn't want to force an ending to that song. One day I was at my dad's house and on his piano and playing the verse, and then I was like, I came up with the chorus piano part, and all of a sudden I was thinking about what the verse was saying, and then I was like, it's too late to apologize. That's what it's saying. And then that was it. And then the second I sang the chorus, it's like I said, I've certain moments with certain songs that have now become hits where I can tell at a certain moment if it's going to be a hit, or at least if it should be, if it's going to connect with people. And you kind of get this weird feeling, at least I do as a writer, I get this weird kind of hair standing on end feeling. And I got that the moment I sang the chorus for Apologize. The moment I sang the chorus while we were in the studio writing Bleeding Love, the moment that I think it was me or Jesse sang that, I don't care what they say, I was like, oh my God, that's a smash. Like I knew the second I heard it. And then our third single is called Say, and that song gives me the same feeling Apologize does. And so, I mean,
when we wrote that, it gave us all chills.
All 5 of us wrote that together.
And we stopped, we're like,
dear God.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and so we really hope, I don't want to put too much pressure on the third single, but I think we all think it's the biggest song on the record. Our fans do too. We just asked them all on MySpace, millions of them, what do you think our third single is? We didn't tell anybody. We just said, what do you think it is? And then everybody, wow, we hope it's Say, we hope it's Say. And we just shot the video for it in Paris a week and a half ago. And, I'm not counting on it doing anything, but, I really hope it connects on the level we think it will, because it gives me that same feeling that Apologize did and Bleeding Love did. I did, actually. Yeah. I did. Stop and Stare. It's different, though. Stop and Stare I knew was powerful. Like the second I sang that chorus, that song took 10 minutes to write. Drew was playing the chords, and I said, hey, we were all fiddling around, tuning our instruments in rehearsal, and it's funny, I just found out from Maroon 5 that we rehearsed in the same rooms for years, and I didn't know it. They were there before us, and then it's funny, but this old place in West LA, and Drew came in, he kept playing these chords, and finally I was like, hey, everyone be quiet. Drew, what are you playing? And he's very simple chord progression, and I said, let's mess around with that for a minute, and I came up with the pre-chorus, and then the first time he played that chorus, I was like, stop and stare, think I'm moving, but I sang sang the chorus right then. I think music tells you what it wants to. Music always comes first for me, and the music tells you what the song wants to be about. They communicate to each other. It's really weird. I don't know how it happens, but it just does. The chords will tell you what the song should be about. And Stop and Stare, the second we wrote it, I was just like, oh my God, we played it for an hour straight. We just kept playing it because we were so in love with it. And it was very powerful. Like, I knew it would be a big song, and I did, actually. The first time we did it, I got that hair standing on end feeling.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
We all did.
It's completely different than Say. I think that it's interesting, our first 3 singles, I'll be happy when we get past the first 3 singles because they really help tell the story of who this band is. We don't really fit in one genre. Apologize, the remix to Stop and Stare, are polar opposite in terms of sonically. This is a rock song, this is more pop. And then Say is just its own thing. It's just like somewhere in the middle. There's elements of Apologize, there's elements of other songs, but it really shows where we want to go as a band. And so I'm excited. Hopefully put out as many songs as possible. And it takes a lot of material these days to get fans to really believe you, that you're not full of it, that you're not just a single. And it's not even about selling records for us. It's about that. I mean, that helps the label. That helps us a little bit, but it helps us. How selling records helps a band is not the money, because you have to sell millions of records for a band to actually make money from record sales. But the album sales means that there's that many people walking around with that CD in their car to make other people hear it, and those people go to shows. It's all about the live show. We were in Perth last night, and 9,000 people showed up to see Maroon 5. Blew us away. I told Adam last night, I was like, don't take this the wrong way. I did not realize how big you guys were. Like, I must be oblivious, because you just packed out a tennis arena in Perth, Australia, the opposite end of the world. So hopefully, that's the goal. If we our goal is to be able to do stuff like that.